What's going on, guys? JPS back for another video, and today we're going to be reacting to 10 everyday freedoms in England that America took away. This topic came up recently in one of the videos that I reacted to about asking Brits if they would move to the United States, and then again asking Brits if they would go to the US to visit for the World Cup. Now, moving is way more severe than visiting for a World Cup, and a lot of you guys were talking about how there are a lot of rights that you forfeit when you go to the United States from a place like England or Great Britain. So I definitely agree with you. And there was a point I made in that video about 10 rights. You know, what are the 10 rights that you would forfeit? And to that point, many of you made the point that it's really how you define a right, but there are a lot of things in the United States that you simply can't do, and a lot of freedoms you don't have because of our encroaching government and corruption, especially as of recently, and also just what our country was built on, which is, not our land, and slavery. That's a very blunt way of putting it, but it's also very true, unfortunately. So I feel like the country was kind of screwed from its beginning. And let's find out, what are these freedoms that England has that America doesn't have. You guys made our country in some ways, and no place is perfect. I know the United States is kind of like a scapegoat and laughing stock of the world right now for good reason, but there's no country that's perfect, and there's a lot of places that have a lot are violating human rights as of right now as well. So let's get right into this. Consider joining the Patreon, guys. First link in description for full reactions to British TV shows, movies, and album reactions. Here we go.
Many Americans assume their everyday rules are standard everywhere, yet daily life in Great Britain handles many things very differently. Did you know actions that seem normal in the US can be against the rules across the Atlantic, and vice versa? Picture a street in Manchester during rush hour. People cross wherever it's clear, while in most US cities, police hand out tickets for the same thing. This video covers 10 common situations where life in Great Britain contrasts with American norms. These details are based on first-hand accounts, official policies, forums, and public records, not secondhand stories or glossy travel articles. If you want real comparisons, you're in the right place. But before we continue, hit that like button and subscribe. Number 10. Jaywalking legal. In the US, jaywalking can mean fines or warnings from police, even when the street is empty. Cities like New York or Los Angeles commonly enforce these rules. In Great Britain, no law bans crossing outside the lines. In London or Cardiff, locals size up traffic and cross where it feels safe. In central London, it is common to see people head straight over multi-lane roads without waiting for signals. For Americans used to strict enforcement and clear crosswalks, this feels unfamiliar. Maybe you've noticed this yourself. Can you remember the last time you saw someone get stopped for jaywalking? Number 9.
Yeah, I don't think I can in the United States. So I don't know about the strict enforcement, but we definitely don't make it easy for pedestrians to cross the street. There aren't many crosswalks, and also our roads are massive, and cars get the right of way, not the pedestrian. So these roads in England, I mean, look at these lanes. This is a decently sized road coming up to a roundabout as well. That's not very difficult to cross, and there's a crosswalk right here built into it. Wouldn't be the case in the United States. So it's kind of like a run like a chicken for your life. It's like you're playing Crossy Road, if you guys have heard of that game in the United States.
Double holiday days. Taking long vacations gets stopped for jaywalking. Number 9. Double holiday days. Taking long vacations is rare for most Americans. Only about 23% of private industry workers get 15 or more paid days each year, according to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics. And few use those days all at once. Most workplaces expect employees to stay reachable and avoid long absences. By contrast, British law guarantees full-time workers at least 28 paid days off each year, and it's normal to take 2 weeks together. During August in Birmingham, for example, businesses often empty as people travel. Using the full allowance is standard practice, and colleagues often encourage it. In the US, vacation time is usually saved for emergencies or short breaks, but in Great Britain, it's seen as a key part of well-being. Number 8. School.
That is a good point. They're not like you're not going on a 2-week holiday to Germany with your 15 days of vacation. If you get that in the United States, if you get that annually, which is like a luxury, it's not possible because there's a lot of projects. They involve you with the stakeholders, with your coworkers, with your boss. So when you leave, that's why Americans are always checking their phone, checking their emails when they're on vacation, because your job security is not guaranteed, especially so now. This was the case years ago. It's especially the case now. Like, people are very afraid to lose their job, whether it's to competition, automation, whatever the case. So the 28 days does make me envy the UK and the rest of Europe that also has these longer mandated vacation periods. I mean, you don't even have to use that all at once either. You can sprinkle them out and have like a 4-day work week, 1 out of every 2 weeks, and even more than that, because 52 divided by 2 is 26. And you guys get bank holidays and all this other stuff. Lucky.
Choice wider. In America, a child's assigned public school depends closely on home address, set by strict district lines. Even if a better school is nearby, families usually cannot enroll without moving. Britain links address and school, but allows wider flexibility. In places like Greater Manchester, parents rank school preferences on applications. If a preferred school has space, children may attend, with priority for local families. If schools are full, councils must offer a place somewhere. In cities like Bristol, parents compare schools and apply based on their child's needs, not just geography. The process feels less rigid, and Americans facing strict school borders often find this approach more balanced. Number 7, doctor visits simple. Medical care in the U.S. usually starts with paperwork and anticipating bills. The Kaiser Family Foundation notes the average uninsured office visit is $104, and costs rise after tests or prescriptions. Even insured patients pay co-pays and may get more bills later. In Great Britain, patients book NHS appointments with no upfront payment and no insurance card. At clinics in Glasgow or Liverpool, families turn up for visits or checkups and leave without pulling out a wallet. The NHS covers most routine care. Prescription costs are standardized, currently $9.65 per item. Private insurance is optional, not needed for basic health needs. The lack of cost at the door often surprises American visitors, and many feel a sense of relief at the difference. Number 6, drinking age.
I'm gonna need the NHS if I go up on the London Eye. I either have a heart attack or a seizure from afraid of heights. Let me know your thoughts on the current state of the NHS, guys. Is it going well? I know that the NHS has been something that a lot of you have been very proud of, which is great. You know, I'm happy for you guys that you have a functioning healthcare system that can take care of your citizens. Like, what? Why would a country not want that? Money, maybe? I don't know. It's sad that we don't have something like this.
Americans cannot legally drink alcohol until 21, even though they can vote or serve in the military at 18. In Great Britain, adults buy alcohol at 18 or older in pubs or shops. In family pubs, even 16 or 17-year-olds may have beer or wine with a meal if an adult is present. Pub gardens and events throughout Britain include people 18 and up drinking responsibility with friends. For Americans, this early trust in adulthood often stands out. Number 5, eggs not chilled. U.S. supermarkets keep eggs refrigerated, and labels warn customers to do the same. The FDA requires washing eggs, which removes a natural layer and increases risk of contamination if left at room temperature. In Great Britain, eggs remain unwashed by law, so the protective layer stays on. Supermarkets display eggs unrefrigerated, often beside dry goods. In a Glasgow market or a small Isle of Wight shop, egg cartons sit on open shelves. People take them home and keep them out of the fridge without concern. This is a result of different food safety regulations, not tradition, and what seems odd to Americans is routine in the UK. Number 4, unified transit
cards. Now, the egg
cards.
thing is cool. Like, that's not odd. Eggs, when they're sold in a farmer's market, they don't carry a fridge around with them. You know what I mean? They don't have to be refrigerated and cleaned off and all this. Like, I think it's more natural to have them out just in the plain room temperature without washing off the protective layer. And it also would cost less probably to have more refrigerated space available. So really, we're just disinfecting something that doesn't really need to be disinfected. Everything with the chicken, bro. The eggs we chlorinate the actual chicken. Oh my.
U.S. cities usually have local smart cards, like New York's MetroCard or Chicago's Ventra, which do not work elsewhere.
Yeah.
Travelers may carry several cards or need exact change in unfamiliar systems. In Great Britain, smart cards like London's Oyster, Liverpool's Walrus, and Scotland's Saltire function on trains, buses, and even ferries. In Newcastle or Cardiff, commuters routinely switch between lines with a tap, with no stop to buy tickets. The system reduces confusion and saves time, a noticeable contrast for U.S. visitors. Number 3, pub closing flexible.
Most definitely. Very smooth. Very smooth. We should have the same thing. The fact that you could just hop on the tube and Apple Pay is so easy, especially for tourists. So I love that about that stuff. Like, makes it really easy. I also used the Manchester B bus network, and that was extremely user-friendly and easy to navigate. Especially, you're in a relatively new country like England. I've been a few times, but it's not like I live there. Like, stuff can be a bit disorienting at times. But the public transportation is so easy to use. And of course, the rails, when they're on time, it is very smooth. It is very smooth.
Many U.S. cities have fixed last call alcohol laws, often at 1 or 2 a.m., and some limit Sunday sales. Britain changed this in 2003, allowing pubs and bars to apply for late licenses. In Leeds or Glasgow, nightlife may run until 3 a.m. on weekends. Hours are often set in discussion with local authorities.
I'll say though, the times very similar between, if you're in a U.S. city, New York, they have stuff going till 4 or 5 a.m. That's about our biggest Europe impersonation. We're not going to have clubs open for 72 hours on the weekend like we're in Berlin. And I know London has stuff going until, 5, 6 a.m. Like, y'all are definitely ahead of us. I would say England is ahead of us by an hour. The normal pubs and clubs in cities and stuff, they close around 3 a.m. in England. And in the United States, it's 3 a.m. as well. Some of them 2 a.m. depending. So that's why I say you guys are a bit ahead. But this is not that big of a difference. And also, it's not that big of a deal, bro. When you're young and you want to have nights out, this is cool. But it's not like end of the world. It's not really a free. It is a freedom, I guess, but it's not like a bad thing.
3 a.m. on weekends. Hours are often set in discussion with local authorities. While country pubs may still close at 11 p.m., there is wide variation. Americans who visit often notice how fluid the rules are and feel the difference. By now, you might be comparing it to your own life. What's the latest time you've left a pub or bar in either country? Number 2, exams taken early. American students take most major exams, like the SAT or AP tests, at the end of high school. British students usually take national exams called GCSEs at 16, which affects choices for advanced courses and careers right away. A-levels follow at 18, usually after specializing earlier than Americans do. In Bristol or Glasgow, many finish compulsory schooling and start vocational training while Americans are in basic classes. This means British students face career choices earlier, for better or worse. Number 1.
That's another thing. Is that better or worse? I don't know. GCSEs at 16. That's pretty early. But, there's countries do it way earlier where you have to decide on your specialty at 14, 15, even earlier than that. And also we got to be lucky that we're living in countries where you can decide what you want to do. Some places there's only 1 or 2 major industries and they're not going to be thinking with your brain. A lot of it's blue collar work, using your hands. I don't know. Because also when you're not forced to decide, then you kind of bullshit a little bit. Like in the United States, there's a lot of time to be taking prerequisites and basic intro level classes where people don't really have a defined path or a push to really go for something. So I think specializing earlier isn't a bad thing when that's your system. And maybe we could benefit from that. I don't know.
Space trust. Many American cities add restrictions to public spaces, such as benches designed to prevent sleeping, rules against feeding wildlife, and park curfews. In Great Britain, public parks stay open with minimal restriction. Hyde Park in London or the Meadows in Edinburgh are filled with people reading, eating, and meeting friends from morning to late evening. People relax for hours without interruption. It's common to see groups picnicking or individuals sitting alone. It's a small detail, but one worth asking. When was the last time you truly lingered in a park or public place without being hurried along? This highlights a contradiction. Americans talk about personal freedom, yet ordinary life in Great Britain often allows more daily flexibility and trust. Drop your thoughts in the comments.
Facts. The concluding sentences, very true. And also that thing about the parks, I had not really thought about that, but that is very true. Almost any park in the United States has like a sunset restrictions. And if you're in them past sunset, usually you're either doing bad things or people are going to think that you're doing bad things. There's no in between because they're closed. You're not allowed to be there. But in the UK, also bad stuff happens in the parks in the UK as well. You guys don't think I've seen all that through my travels. Like, I sit down on a bench, sip on some cider for 2 hours in the middle of London. You're going to see some things, for better or for worse. It's just part of life. But I do really love the parks in the UK and the rite of passage also when it comes to land, being able to walk on someone else's land. Those are all very important freedoms that just make life more seamless and allow you to transition between places and chill in places without being like rushed along or feeling like there's restrictions on how long you should stay or what you should be doing during that time. So facts. I do love the parks throughout the UK. So really enjoyed this one, guys. Let me know your thoughts. I couldn't tell if it was a real narrator or artificial intelligence, but there were some good points being made. So they definitely had a solid script. Whether that was AI or a person, I'm going to guess AI, but either way, hope you enjoyed it, guys. Hit that like button, hit subscribe if you did, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace.